Alright. I think... I think we're back now, gamers. Oh god, it's so fucking annoying, because I can't just, like, continue. I can't just use the same stream by the looks of it, and continue from there. So I have to make a brand new one. There we go. Oh god, it's so fucking annoying, because Alright, here we go. Alright, we'll wait for some people to join back. I see some people are coming back. Let me go back here. Alright. 25 of you are back. We had like 90 last time, so I guess we'll we'll wait until maybe like 50 people come back, and that should be a pretty good number. I don't think too many people will be missing out. Let's launch the game. My PC seems to be feeling better, yeah. I can actually use Chrome now. I'll show you guys. I'll pull up the King. It should work now, actually. Bum bum bum.
Please be happy.
Let's hope this actually loads. It's not loading. PDFs always have this problem. Okay, we're at 43. Yeah, we're at 5 Yuri streams technically. Wait, no. 4. 4 Yuri streams. Okay, I've got the art book open. Let me see if I can find... I think I should be able to, like, scroll through this stuff. That should be fine. We'll do it... Oh, there might be some spoilers, actually, so I won't just, like, scroll through mindlessly. In 1 second. Let me find the King. Where's the King? I feel like I just missed him. Like, there's no way- Oh, found him. Okay. So this right here, that rainbow... What the fuck? Oh my god, someone's at the doorbell. Thank you, DMK, for the 5. Oh, someone's at the doorbell, and I think I'm the only one home. I'll be back. Sorry. Alright, I'm back, gamers. Oh my lord. Have you guys had a good look at the King? Oh my god, now my headset's fucking up. This is the worst stream ever. Alright. It'll fix itself in a bit. Where is it? There it is. Okay.
Oh, you didn't finish this one.
No, I didn't! Because the game fucking crashed! Yeah, I'm sorry. I dropped my keys right next to my microphone. Sorry. Okay, we're gonna have to, like, skip ahead.
Yes,
Do you mind?
not at all.
Okay, yep. Yeah, we're around here. When it's finally time for my meeting, Juliet helps me get set up on her computer and then lets me take it to my room. I adjust the screen until I can see it properly, and then I wait. My nervousness keeps building until I nearly jump when the call finally comes through. As the ringtone plays, I take a deep breath and then hit accept. The tiny person-shaped bubble on the notification dissolves, and for a second there's just a black screen. Then a woman appears. When the image comes into focus, she's squinting at the screen, probably waiting just like me. But then she smiles and waves as she's able to see me.
Hello!
Hi, I'm Miho. Nice to meet you.
I'm Minseo. No problem. Gotta say, I was shocked when I got your friend's email at first. I thought it was gonna turn out to be some kind of scam, and eventually she'd ask for money. I'm still a bit confused, though. So you were friends with my ancestor?
Sort of. I met them when I was really young. I was just a regular fox back then.
Wait. A fox, like with 4 legs and pointy ears?
What the fuck do you think those things on a face are?
Yeah. After I met Jongin, I turned into the person I am today.
Whoa. So that was a long time ago, huh? But you look even younger than me. Oh, that's just not fair.
Trust me, it has its downsides.
Both of us laugh, and I can't help but be relieved that she already feels easy to talk to.
That explains a lot, at least. So, Jongin. You're the second person to ask me about them this year, you know?
Who was the first?
Oh, sorry, I keep fucking doing that.
So, Jongin. You're the second person to ask me about them this year, you know? That's 2 times more than most years.
Who was the first?
These guys at some archaeological society who are putting on an exhibition. They wanted permission to display some of their old works.
Yeah, that's kind of stuff is, like, normal. Supernatural stuff is normal in this world.
Are you the only family they have?
Apparently it's, pretty normal for, it's pretty abnormal, sorry, for animals to turn into people, though. But animals, like, people who were born as people animals, like, are fine. Like, Lena, who's a swan person. This is not a gag. This is, like, just a niche thing I decided to do because this game is, like, important to me.
The only one who can use a computer, at least. The only reason I know any of the history is because I had to. Should I tell you everything I know and then you can ask me any questions? No promises if I'll be able to answer them, though.
Sure, that works for me.
Let's see. Well, I'm not related to them by blood, for one thing. They didn't have any kids of their own. But they got married and they and their wife adopted several children. I'm related to one of those kids. They were part of the Young Bun class, a noble and a scholar. But rather than be stuck at home suffering through court life, they hid their identity and snuck away to travel the world instead.
Minseo speaks with a practiced tone, like she's given this speech a few times. Still, I listen with rapt attention, memorizing every detail.
They spent years on the go, seeing everything they could, before finally coming back home to Korea to settle down and start a family. While they were away, they kept a journal and wrote letters back to their beloved. Although calligraphy was something they were taught from a young age, they began practicing as an artist during their travels. Sometimes the letters they sent would include paintings of the things they'd seen, or they'd include little drawings in their journal.
If you want to know the name of the game, check the description, please. Please read descriptions before you ask questions.
What they started to do was give a note to the people they met on their journey, with a little message of appreciation or wishes. My husband always says they remind him of fortune cookies.
Oh, I actually have one of those scrolls myself.
I brought my scroll down from my room, just in case it came up like this. I unfurl it for the first time since Halloween. Please be happy. I turn the scroll around and hold it up to the camera so Minseo can see it. She leans in again, looking close.
Yeah, that's definitely theirs, all right. And they gave it to you when you were just a fox?
This is an alternate reality Earth, so all the countries are the same. It's just a supernatural setting.
Yeah. Although, I couldn't read it until a couple months ago.
God, it's so hard to read their handwriting, right? I'm like, if they were born today, they totally would have been a doctor. I have a few of them myself, although they're up in the office. Grandma has like 90. She says she has one for every year she's been alive, and I definitely believe that.
Jeez, that's a lot. How many did they give out altogether?
Who knows? If someone told me it was thousands, I'd believe them. I don't know if they gave one to every person they met, but it must have been close.
Huh. I thought mine must be pretty rare.
Is this one of those visual novel games that's also massively sad? It's like... I guess it's a bit sad. Not like in a tragedy sort of way, but it will make you cry. It is one of those.
It's still special. However many there were, I'm sure most haven't lasted this long. Not everyone got a full scroll either. But, no. They're not some priceless artifacts that'll sell for a ton of money or something. Otherwise, I'd be talking to you from a mansion by the beach.
That's fine. I'd never sell mine anyway. It's way too important to me.
Yeah, I figured. I'm sure it wasn't easy to keep it safe and in such good condition.
That's for sure. We've been through a lot together.
That's good. I'm sure that's what they would have wanted.
Dragon's Dogma has always been a Yuri game. For a while, Minseo tells me more about Zhongying's adventures. Even though it's hard for me to picture some of the people and places involved, I still pay close attention. Then, all of a sudden, Minseo's eyes go wide, like she's had some huge revelation.
Oh, I'm an idiot! Hold on, I'll be right back. I have to show you.
She gets up and runs off screen, leaving me with a view of an empty chair and a bookshelf. Instead, I look down at my scroll. Somehow, I'd always assumed it was one of a kind, or at least something rare and meaningful. But somehow, finding out that that isn't the case doesn't really bother me. Instead, it's nice to think that they met so many people to be grateful to, or who left an impact on them. If there were thousands of scrolls like mine out there, then that's not a bad thing at all. After a few seconds, Minseo returns to the computer and sits down, carrying a scroll herself.
This is one that I had in the office. I can't believe I didn't think about this sooner. Sometimes, they'd include a butterfly in their signature, or hide one in their paintings, because they said they were inspired by butterflies to travel with the wind. But then, at some point, instead of butterflies, they started to include something else instead. Can you see her?
She holds up the scroll to her camera like I did, focused on one of the bottom corners. There, just below where they signed their name, is a little picture of a fox. Of me?
I should have thought of it when you mentioned foxes earlier. At one point, they started using the alias Horim for their work. I don't know if you speak any Korean, but Horim means fox forest. After they started using that name, foxes would show up in their art for the rest of their life.
The drawing consists of just a few brush strokes that makes a head, ears, and face. Still, it feels like seeing a photograph of myself. I can picture them smiling as they drew it, as they thought of me. I'd always wondered if our time together was important to them as it was to me. Hearing that they chose that name practically confirms it.
Thanks for showing me.
I can feel the threat of tears, but somehow I manage to keep my composure.
No problem. Grandma's gonna freak out when I tell her I talked to you. I've told you basically all I know, but were there any questions you had?
Yeah, I did have one. I'm a little afraid to know, but...
I take a deep breath. They were human, so my question is only natural, but still. Exhaling, I make myself ask.
How'd they die?
Minseo smiles.
Old and peacefully. Their wife outlived them, but not by too long. They had the typical funeral that was expected when they passed away, but then they actually had one final secret request to their family. They wanted to be cremated. Back then, it was basically unheard of, especially for someone of their stature. But they really wanted it to be done so that they could have their ashes scattered. That way, the wind could pick them up, and they could keep traveling forever.
So then... It sounds like they were happy.
Oh yeah. They told their kids that they had no regrets, because they'd live as full and rewarding a life as they could.
I'm afraid that if I try to say too much, I'll start to cry, so I just nod, instead, while I find my voice.
I'm glad to know that.
Of course, of course. It's only right that you know, considering how many foxes showed up in their work.
I think Minseo can tell that I'm having a tough time holding it together, because her voice takes on a more sympathetic tone.
Was there anything else you wanted to know?
I don't think so. You told me everything I wanted to ask. I only found out their name a couple months ago. Until then, I just thought of them as my person in my head. So, really, I've learned a lot more than I could have hoped for.
Aww. Well, I'm happy to help. Your friend has my contact info, so you can message me anytime if you think of anything else. I guess, if you think about it, you and I are kind of like family, right? Since it sounds like they raised you just as much as they raised their kids. Like my whatever.
Really?
She laughs.
Sure, why not? The more the merrier, right? I think that's how they would have seen it too.
Thank you! I really appreciate it.
Family. I may have a girlfriend, but family's something new to me. Silver called us sisters, but just barely. It makes my heart warm.
No problem. I'm sure we'll talk again, so I won't say goodbye. Instead, how about see you later?
I'd like that. Although, there's just one thing.
What's that?
I explain my magic, and how everyone forgets me after a day. Nodding sympathetically, Minseo agrees to join my list of people who check in with me every day. I'm glad she's so understanding, but it's just another reminder that I need to find a better, more permanent solution for people forgetting me. The second our call ends, I let out a sob I was holding back. I thought I was done crying over Zhongying, but apparently not, except this time it's the good kind of crying. After all my searching, and even after their death, I finally got the answer to the question my heart wanted to know. They cared about me too. I tried to imagine what their home must have been like, their wife and kids. I'm sure they were all smiles. Still, it's difficult for me to imagine how they looked. Instead, I can picture them, traveling just like when we met, going from place to place freely, wherever the wind took them, just like me, really. Someday, I'd like to return to some of those places that I've been before and see them properly, instead of just blindly searching for one person and ignoring everything else. I'd like to visit them with some of the same wonder that Zhongying felt. More than anything, I wish I could tell them about what I've experienced and learned on this path they sent me down. Even though I can't, there's one thing that I can say now for sure. They would have been proud of me. Okay, Moonlight, so the forgetting thing only started happening after she became a Gumiho, which was like several days after the Traveler met her as a fox. So the Traveler remembers her as a fox, but doesn't remember but never, like, actually met Miho as a person. Yeah, that what Recaller here is saying is because they remember the fox. They never met Miho, they met the fox that Miho was before she gained magic. Even though I can't, there's one thing that I can now say for sure. They would have been proud of me. A few minutes later, I'm still trying to pull myself together when the dog comes up to me and paws on my leg insistently. I can't help but smile. Whatever I'm going through doesn't matter to him at all. He just wants to eat or go outside, of course. My life and tears don't really make a difference to him one way or another. And really, that helps keep me grounded. This dog sounds like a bitch. I'm glad to have some closure when it comes to Zhongying, and to know that they were just the kind of person I imagined them to be. While their kindness and memory will never stop being special to me, I finally feel like I can say they're in the past. Time passed quicker than I could have ever imagined, but it's still passed, it moved on, and now I need to too. After wiping my eyes and blowing my nose, I stand up and the dog spins in an excited circle as I reach for the door. They haven't named the dog yet, no. They're still not sure if there's an owner out there looking for them, but they don't expect it to be. He runs for the kitchen, stopping right outside the cabinet where I stored his food. His nose quivers and he huffs like a pig as he waits for me to catch up.
Didn't take you long to get used to this, did it?
He barks at me, just a single short yap, but I can imagine him telling me to hurry up.
Alright, give me a second.
I grab a clean bowl from the cupboard and scoop him out some dinner. As the kibble clatters into the dish, he excitedly prances about, getting his snout into the bowl before it's even on the floor. His tail wags as he chows down, inhaling half his meal without even chewing. He's gonna throw that all back up. I reach towards him, but he growls at me with a mouthful of dog food.
Chill, I'm not taking it. I'd pour my own bowl if I wanted some. Besides, I don't think I could stand the taste anymore.
Miho used to eat dog food, confirmed? Still, I keep my distance, just so I don't spook him. Finally, after he's done, he leaves the kitchen and heads right back up towards my room. He's gotten comfortable here much faster than I did. I wonder if it feels like home yet. Apologies, a yawn. Okay. After taking yesterday off, I sit down at the library desk with the dog for the first time. He does his usual pacing and sniffing, since this is the first time he's really explored this area. I keep an eye on him while I start on the day's tasks, but he just flops on the floor near my feet and dozes. Eventually, the first person who needs help comes up to the desk, carrying a couple books with them.
Hi there, I'd like to... Oh my god!
The sound of a new voice gets the puppy to stand up, and the lady across from me melts when she sees him.
He's adorable. Can I pet him?
Sure.
Do I feel better after yesterday? Yeah, I do, thanks, Wrangler. I ate Chinese the day before, which is why I wasn't feeling well. I'm not getting Chinese from that place ever again. It's not really up to me. If he doesn't want to be pet, he'll just walk away. The next person to show up does more or less the same thing, and the person after them too. As the day gets later, the library gets busier. At least half the people who come in ask to pet the dog. I'm pretty sure some of the help requests I get are just excuses to come see him. He handles it all pretty well though, even leaving my side to go explore and visit with folk himself. A little bit later after lunchtime, the front door opens slowly. I look up from the form I'm working on to see one of the last people I expected.
Silver!
She isn't wearing her mask, so I get a clear view of her face as she narrows her eyes at the name, but approaches me all the same.
Miho.
I haven't seen Silver since Halloween, after she gave back my scroll and disappeared into the night. More than once, I've thought about going up to Mount Victoria to look for her, but haven't. It felt like I should give her some space after last time. She stops at the desk, standing across from me, surrounded by books and other guests, plus being in the broad daylight, she looks a bit out of place. Oh god. Don't know why I can't stop yawning. A short bark from next to me startles her, and she blinks in surprise as the dog runs around the desk to stand at her feet and yap at her directly.
A friend of yours?
Something like that. I found him at the park, and I've been taking care of him for a couple days.
He's a dog in the true sense of the word, then.
As far as I know, yeah, you finally got it right.
Her lips curl, but into a smile and not a sneer. Although she doesn't try to pet him, she looks down at the dog with some amusement. He stopped barking and instead sniffs her furiously, looking between her and me like he's trying to figure something out.
He seems happy.
You can read his aura?
No? I don't need to, though.
Deciding she's either boring or not a threat, the dog comes back to my side and lies down again, gnawing quietly on his chew toy. Silver looks back to me, but then her eyes narrow again.
Your being.
Oh, yeah.
I take off my necklace and hold it so she can see the cracks starting to appear.
It started doing this a couple days ago.
Keeping her distance, she inspects it warily. In the palm of my hand, where the bead itself sits, I can feel a faint pulse like a heartbeat, although it doesn't sync up with my own.
So not much longer, then.
Right.
Silver is not 6'5", Miho's just like a manlet, a womanlet. It feels a little awkward to acknowledge, like I'm beating her in a race I didn't mean to participate in, but there's not any point in denying it either.
I'm kinda scared of what's gonna happen next, to tell you the truth.
Scared? Why?
Change, I guess.
Shenho, Sky Fox. Just thinking the word summons visions of blue skies and rolling forests in my mind. The pulse in my palm quickens.
Hey, I have a question. What do you think would happen if I broke it?
Broke what?
This.
I hold my bead up closer, and she takes an instinctive half step backwards.
If I just crushed it or got rid of it instead of swallowing it. If that's even possible.
The spindly breaks that cover the bead make it look like it could fall apart at any second, like even if a light wind could shatter it. I can only imagine what Silver must be thinking. She's probably shocked that I'm even asking, but she keeps any scorn she's feeling off her face, and finally she shrugs.
I know not, nor why you would even consider such a thing. Though I have a guess. The magic within our fox being is as much a part of us as our breath and blood. Perhaps there is no life without it. Or perhaps we'd be no different than beasts.
You mean you'd think I'd turn back into a fox?
Maybe. Maybe not. I couldn't say. I've never heard of any of her sisters ever trying.
A lump forms in my throat that I force back down.
I never thought of that. It makes sense though, huh? Since it was the bead that made me what I am.
So the beads are basically part of the Gumiho lore. Like basically a normal fox coughs up the bead, they then transform into a Gumiho, and it gives them a special, unique power, along with the ability to take on this half fox, half human form. They also gain immortality. She jabs a finger in my face, hand hovering over my necklace.
Shut up.
Shut up!
Huh?
I only said it was possible. I doubt it would happen. Either way, how dare you? Your being is but a means to an end. It may have given you a chance, but it was you who took it. Every step you've taken has been your own. It made you nothing but capable.
Silver holds her arm out, putting her shining bracelet into clear view.
Whoever or whatever you are now, you can never be a normal fox again, even were you to take the form of one. Still, what power your being does offer has been ever in your service. Should you choose to discard it, I fail to see why it wouldn't respect your final wish.
Up close like this, I'm able to see Silver's bracelet clearly for the first time. The light makes it difficult, but not impossible. Although my bead is plain and round, nearly identical to the non-magical ones on my necklace, hers narrows in the middle, and then widens again like an hourglass. A few colourful bands run across it, almost too narrow to see. There's a red one, a blue one, and even a silver one. When I squint, I can see a faint round spring one as well. Sorry, I completely fucked that up. When I squint, I can even see a faint spring green one as well. Don't know why I read that as round. Okay. There are others, but I can't see what they are before Silver shoves her hand into her pockets, burying the light deep within. Sorry. I put my necklace back on.
Thanks. I feel a lot better hearing you say that.
I told you so. To think otherwise would be insulting.
In Silver's language, that's just how you say, "You're welcome."
Anyway, none of that is the reason I came here. I've come to keep my end of a promise. I'm leaving tomorrow.
What? So soon?
The news hits me like a punch in the gut, even though she told me she was planning this a long time ago.
Soon? I've already stayed longer than I intended. There's nothing more for me to be had here.
That's not true. There's...
Nothing more to be found, I should say.
Abruptly, her voice softens. For maybe the first time ever, Silver's tone is gentle.
Your path may end here for now, but mine goes ever on. Perhaps someday it will come to a similar end, but not today, nor tomorrow. Surely you understand.
For as long as I've known her, I've hoped I could get through to Silver somehow. Help her see some of the things I was blind to myself. Especially now, as we're just starting to become friends. Or maybe now that we've been friends for a while. Either way, I wish she would stay. But also, just like how I've already vowed to let the dog go if he wants to leave, I know I can't keep her here. And just like with Aspen, as much as I might want to do more, all I can do is try to support her. The rest is up to Silver.
Yeah. I understand. I'm coming to see you off, though.
Silver considers for a second.
Fine. I'll come to you here in the morning. Early. Be ready.
I will.
Good. I've said all I came to say then. Until tomorrow.
Without another word, she turns and heads for the door, disappearing through it just like she disappears into the trees. That's an awful knocking noise. What the— oh my god. It like echoes in my brain. Judging by the knocking at my window, it turns out Silver and I have different ideas of early. I roll over in bed, not totally sure that I'm not dreaming, in time to see Silver gesture at me and then leap from the tree again. A few minutes and lots of eye-rubbing later, I'm ready and outside to meet her, with the dog staying behind me without any argument this time. Silver's carrying a small sack with her, which I assumed contained all her belongings. It's tied shut with a small rope, and she slings it over her shoulder. We don't exchange any words of greeting. Instead, we just start walking. As frustrating as it can be half the time, sometimes I also appreciate her willingness to just end a conversation, or not even start one. I don't have to worry about being a good enough conversationalist for her. It's easy to get more out of her silence than it is many others too. The fact that she let me come along on this last trip, much less came to get me, says a lot. We make our way through the streets, not seeing many other pedestrians or even cars. Only a handful of city buses, a couple of them roaming around empty too. What does the dog have to do with the story? I mean, you'll see. The dog only just, got introduced. Silver walks faster than either Aspen or Juliet, but I'm able to keep pace easily. It makes our journey pretty short, though. The glass walls and security gates of the skyport come into view, waiting for us. It was the first place to greet us when we arrived, and now it's ready to see her off again. I wonder what Silver's thinking about right now. Infinite stutter? Don't be- oh my god, bro. You'd stutter in my situation too. Okay, I've read like- I'm gonna be reading like 20 hours worth of gay to you guys. Is she feeling sad at all and preparing to miss this place? Or is she ready to leave and potentially never return? Good or bad, I don't think she'll ever be able to figure- Good or bad, I don't think she'll ever be able to forget her time in Wellington. We come to stop just a few meters away from the entrance, facing the double glass doors. Our reflections stare back at us.
Call me Unbi.
Unbi?
In Korean, Un for silver, Bi for rain. Silver rain. Although she doesn't turn to me, I can still see her face turn red in the glass.
Yes, it's the name I've settled on. What do you think?
I hope she sees me grin.
I think it's perfect.
Grin. Thank you. I'm not sure what words to say. I've never said goodbye before.
You just did, silly Billy.
It's okay. I never know either. I hope you'll come back someday. Or that we'll see each other again somewhere else.
Fate brought us together once. Perhaps it'll do so again.
So you think it was fate after all, huh?
Perhaps not.
She looks down at her wrist, surely thinking about her bead, even though it's hidden.
If not fate, then shall we make a promise that neither of us can keep?
You haven't broken a promise to me yet.
We'll meet someday then. Perhaps you won't even recognize me. I might be someone else entirely.
Someday. I'm sure that I'll recognize you, though. You might change, but you'll still be you, no matter what.
Even if I'm Unbi now.
You've been Unbi the whole time.
Like always, I can tell when she's about to leave. Before she can, there's something I have to ask. I might not get another chance.
At first, you didn't want me to call you Silver. With your magic, what does a silver aura mean?
Our eyes meet in the glass. Finally, she closes hers with a tiny smile.
Shame. Goodbye, Miho.
Goodbye, Unbi.
It takes her just a couple steps to reach the door. They slide open silently, dissolving our reflections. Unbi doesn't look back when she strolls through, letting them shut behind her once again. I'm left looking at myself, and only myself. Finally, I turn around too, and start making my way back home. Does Unbi have a passport? Is she- oh, she'll probably just like stow away. Classic Gumiho behavior. The last library guest of the day turns out to be my favorite one. Oh, that's so sweet! Oh. Aspen enters just after closing time with a small wrapped package in her hands.
Aspen! I didn't know you were coming.
I drop what I'm doing to go greet her at the door. The dog does too, and she stoops down to pet him.
That's because I wanted it to be a surprise.
Yeah, dumbass!
Also because I wasn't sure I'd be able to get off work in time. But we managed.
Ooh, a surprise?
She shakes the box she's holding. Its contents rattle generically. That's an interesting way to rattle.
Right. I have a present, but I'm afraid it's not for you.
For Juliet?
Aspen just smiles in response. She takes my hand and I let her lead me towards the kitchen. The dog follows behind us. Juliet's already there.
Ah, Aspen. Good evening.
Hello, hello.
She sets the box on the table and then takes a seat with a sigh, just like she was showing up for breakfast.
This is the first time I've been able to sit down in hours.
You've gotten back into reading, Ricola? Reading Yuri? That's pretty based, actually. I read Yuri every day, if I can. I at least, like, check multiple times every day for updates. I think it's... I've been doing this for, like, the past 6 years. I probably have a problem, honestly. Like a medical... Like a mental illness. A pipe bomb.
Thank Thank you for joining us. I'm sure you must be exhausted.
It's fine. This is important after all.
I'm totally confused by now.
Wait, Juliet knew you were coming? I thought your present was for her.
Nope. I just said it wasn't for you. Although you'll still need to open it because it's for him.
She gestures at the puppy, who's on the ground showing his own foot. Fucking stupid dog, look at that stupid fucking dog. Aspen slides the box across the table towards me and I lift it up. It isn't very heavy. It's gonna be a collar or something. I'm not saying what I just thought of just now. Both Aspen and Juliet watch me eagerly.
Here goes.
I slice a hole in the wrapping paper and then rip it all away in one go. Beneath it is a box with brightly colored letters. I try to sound them out slowly.
Deluxe printer ink cartridges.
Aspen, who's been leaning forward in anticipation, deflates a little.
Not quite. That was the only box I could find. Open it up too.
I use one of my nails to cut the tape on the box and pop it open. Inside are a small collar and a leash. Sorry, this is a wholesome game, there's no not safe for work material here. I lift them out gently. Would buying Miho a collar be considered a hate crime? I mean, I guess if she's into it, it doesn't matter, right? It's a good thing that there's a dog around.
It might be a little big for him now, but I thought he'd grow into it soon. Without having him with me, I just had to guess what the right size was.
Miho's gonna open this and be like, oh, who's this for? I look from Aspen to Juliet to the dog, then back to Juliet.
Does this mean...
Indeed. They're gifts for the newest member of our household.
Oh, they're for the dog, damn.
I've searched and I can't find anyone looking for a lost dog like him. Nor has anyone reached out to me about it either. As he's already house-trained, he clearly lived in a house at one point. But it seems that was a long time ago. I don't believe he'll be going back. And besides, he seems happy to be here. He's already found himself a home with you.
The dog himself gets up and comes to sniff the accessories in my hands.
While I'm sure I know the answer already, I feel I should ask all the same. Would you like to keep him?
I look down at the animal beside me. If someone had tried to put a collar on me, if someone had tried to keep me, I would have done everything in my power to avoid it. Okay, confirmation, Miho does not like pet play. So we can drop this topic now. Kicked, bitten, ran, whatever. There's no way I'd have allowed someone to control me like that. But he's not me. Already, the dog is looking healthier than when I first found him. He's filled out a bit, and his ribs don't poke out as much. Is this the dog route? It technically is. If you pursue Aspen's route, you get a dog. If you pursue Juliet's route, you get something else. I'm not telling you guys, just in case anyone wants to play the game themselves and experience all the routes, but Aspen's route is my favorite. Which is why we're going to be playing through Aspen's route. Which is why we have been playing through Aspen's route, I should clarify. He's been better behaved than I would have been too. Juliet even said he must have lived in a house before. I've seen that he doesn't always know how to take care of himself either. If I hadn't taken him from the park that day, it could have been a matter of time before he got hurt. Like when he almost got hit by a car. I'm just gonna get this out there. Miho is 1000% the top in this relationship. Like, if you've been here for the whole, like, game, you're probably agreeing with me here. I grew up in the wild, always looking after myself, but he needs a little help. When I look back up at my friends, their faces are slightly concerned. They probably expected me to answer yes right away.
I want to keep him. But what if he doesn't want to stay? He's been comfy here so far, but what if that changes?
Short femme top? Yeah, short femme top's fucking based as shit.
Why not ask him?
He doesn't know any words like Percy and Byron. I just talk to him anyway.
Those two are very well spoken, I'll have you know. But that's not what I meant. Don't you remember back on
Her face goes a little red.
that day I asked you out? You were telling me how animals don't have to communicate with words.
Miho, brain dead, forgets that she, an animal, can speak to animals.
Could you maybe ask him as a fox?
I hadn't thought of that.
I haven't transformed in a while. I haven't had any reason to. Aspen's right, though. Maybe there are things I can say that way. So the thing with, like, top and bottom being, like, short or taller is that a top is typically the taller person. Like, that's kind of the stereotype, that's the impression. And a subversion of that with the shorter person being the top is, like, based and poggers. Sorry. Because it's a subversion of that trope, and it's appealing in that way. Setting the leash and collar on the table, I take a couple steps away from the dog and change forms. More than ever before, I can feel the magic coursing out of my bead and into my body like blood. The sensations of my limbs shortening, of my face changing and fur growing out, stand out more than usual. They aren't uncomfortable, but I'm used to barely noticing it at all. When my transformation is complete, the dog begins to growl, his hackles raised and tail stiff, and he backs away slowly. He's clearly afraid, but the nuances of what he's trying to say are hard for me to pick up because I'm so out of practice. It's like when I try to speak Korean after a long time. Danger, danger, fear, missing? Where? I get the impression that he wants to know what happened to me, the me that he knows and that disappeared suddenly. He's probably never seen a fox before, but he instantly identifies me as a threat. Above us, Juliet and Aspen watch anxiously. My tails brush from side to side, and I keep my ears and body language friendly. I try to not impress upon him that I'm not dangerous. Oh, wait, sorry. I try to impress upon him that I'm not dangerous, and that the creature he's looking at is his person. Danger, doubt. Danger, fear, doubt. Instead of growling or barking or any of the other sounds I'd make to talk to other foxes, it's more like I have to will my thoughts across to him. I try to convey that he can trust me, that he knows me still. The growls soften, but he keeps his distance and fur raised as he sniffs the air. Doubt, doubt, trust, doubt, danger? Just a couple inches away, I stop and lay down on the ground, showing that I trust him in return and know that he's not a threat to me. Doubt, doubt, trust, trust, trust? Now we're talking, gamers. Finally, he approaches me and his nose goes still. We look into each other's eyes, and then he gives me a gentle kiss on the snout. Oh, isn't that sweet? Trust. I nuzzle against him, showing him that his faith was well placed. As I do, I try to convey other feelings to him in the same way as him. Home? I tell him. Stay, I ask. Home, stay safe. I imagine him settling down here like I have, until everything is familiar. Oh my god. I imagine him settling down here like I have, until everything is familiar, going to sleep well fed and safe, and waking up rested. Doubt, trust, Yuri? Maybe he had that before. If so, I don't know how anyone could have just abandoned him and left him to fend for himself. I don't know how they could be so cruel. If there's one thing I can promise, it's that I'd never let that happen. Even if I couldn't take care of him myself anymore, I wouldn't just abandon him. I wouldn't just leave him alone. His tail thwacks against the wall as he wags it. Now that he's figured out who I am, it doesn't seem like he has to think about it too hard. Home, 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 home! I can speak dog. I transform back into my other form. This time he doesn't seem bothered at all. Picking the leash and collar back up, I finally smile at Aspen and Juliet.
He's gonna stay.
Aspen helps me put the collar onto the dog, and then we head out into the backyard with him.
I'm glad it fits all right. He doesn't seem to mind too much either.
Yeah, that was pretty easy. Maybe he's used to it.
Or maybe he knew you were doing something good for him.
Aspen and I sit down on the steps while the dog runs around. He finds a ball that he left out here earlier and brings it over to me to throw. I toss it but not too far, and he hurries off to get it.
Have you thought about what you're going to name him?
No, not really. I guess he needs one though, huh?
It's better than just calling him the dog all the time.
Right. Well, if I was gonna be consistent, then I should probably call him Og or Uppy.
Awful joke. Aspen laughs.
Perfect. I know who to ask if I'm ever struggling to name a character someday.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Before she left today, Silver told me she'd picked a name for herself too. She chose Umbi. It means silver rain in Korean.
That's gorgeous. I like that she kept silver as part of it. I suppose that means you helped name her too.
You're right. I wonder if she thought about it that way. I'll bet she'd change it on the spot if I ever asked her. I wish you could have talked to her more. I wish I could have too.
I'd have liked to know her better as well.
For her story?
That's part of it. But it's not the only reason. From what you've told me about her, she seems like a good person deep down, who hasn't had the opportunity to express that much. She seems like someone who could have come to be an important part of our lives. Not to say that she isn't already important to you.
Like him.
Not too far away, the dog rolls around in the grass, kicking his feet in the air. My dog.
Yes, exactly. You said it yourself about Unbi. The two of you are like family. And now this fellow is part of the family too.
I pat my leg and the dog instantly sits up to walk over to us, greeting each of us with a lick on the hand. I think about what Juliet said a few minutes ago, when she was telling me he could stay. Suddenly, it comes to me.
Happy.
Hmm?
His name is Happy.
Happy looks up at me, his tongue lolling out of the side of his face in a smile. Aspen giggles.
Do you like that name?
I ask him the question, knowing that I won't get an answer. Still, it just feels polite to ask. Even though I chose to do it as a human, not as a fox.
I'm sure he does. A saying that I appreciate is that names are a gift that someone gives you. And if it doesn't fit, you can exchange it for one that does. In this case, I think it suits him perfectly.
Watching the dog close his eyes in comfort as he keeps getting attention, I'm glad Aspen agrees.
Now that you mention it, I've done a lot of name exchanging too.
You only started going by Miho here in Welly, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised you remember that.
She taps her forehead.
I'm good at remembering important things, and Miho things are important.
That's so sweet. I lean against her, resting my head on Aspen's shoulder.
I think I like being Miho. All the good things in my life started happening after I picked that name.
I like you being Miho too.
The two of us sit for a while more, playing with Happy, until he gets too tired to keep chasing the ball. Taking that as a sign that we should call it a night, all three of us head back inside together.
And here you are.
With a flourish, Aspen slides 2 plates onto the table between Juliet and me. There's fresh cut fruit, some warm potatoes, and a sandwich made with bacon and cheese. I hardly ever have meat anymore, so it's a rare treat.
Whoa! This looks really good!
I'm glad I haven't lost my touch. I don't do this kind of table service very often, you know.
I know! We must be your favorite customers or something.
Maybe, but don't tell the rest of them.
Today is Aspen's last day at this Bell house, so she invited Juliet and I to breakfast for a change of pace. Happy came along too, of course, and his leash is tied tightly to my chair. Juliet shifts her parasol a little bit to match the rising sun. She sips her tea and smiles warmly.
There's a reason this is our favorite cafe to visit.
Soon to be second favorite, I hope.
Aspen leans against the railing, looking up at the sky. The sun really highlights the bags beneath her eyes and all the small things that probably only I notice, such as how her apron is tied more sloppily than she usually likes, or how her hair is done up roughly. Still, even this close to the finish line, she looks a lot better than she did when she was working on her book, happier and more content, instead of looking like she's going to fall over at any moment. There's no one who deserves it more. She catches me looking at her and pretends to glare.
Your sandwich is getting cold, Miho. I worked hard on that, you know.
You sure they're homosexual? I'm not convinced.
Sorry.
Who is asking where the Yuri is in this? We are in the end game. There is so much game. I lift it up and take a big bite. Just like the strawberry croissants, it's messy but delicious. Don't they make anything to eat here that doesn't need to come with a stack of napkins? I still managed to finish it in a hurry.
That was so good! I didn't even know you had them on the menu. Or I'd have ordered one before.
It's not on the menu. It's just something I put together myself. I had to mark out a lot of different items to make it. But if you think so highly of it, then maybe I'll think about adding it to my store.
You should! I'll eat one every day.
Every day is an awfully long time.
It was that good.
I saved a little bite for Happy, who's currently protecting us from everyone who passes by. He doesn't bark or growl, but he keeps pace with them, walking as far as his leash will let him before going back to the start. He never tries to go too far, though.
Happy!
He tilts his head and then comes running, and I hold out the treat on the palm of my hand. Being as careful not to bite me as he can, he pulls it away with his tongue and munches. Well, happily.
Perhaps you should consider a dog-sized version on the menu too.
That would be the most adorable thing my team ever hated me for. I should make sure to keep some dog biscuits, though. I'll have to write that down.
From one of the pockets on her apron, Aspen... Fuck! Now you guys are gonna make fun of me again! You guys are making fun of me when I stutter now. From one of the pockets on her apron, Aspen retrieves something I haven't seen in a while. A small notebook and a pen. She starts to write something down, and then freezes.
Oh, Juliet! I just remembered.
Setting the book down on the table, Aspen hurries into the cafe. Juliet and I both watch her go. Even Juliet seems a little surprised. But 10 seconds later, the door flies open again, and Aspen is back, carrying a different piece of paper.
Regina approved my idea to put a reading corner in the new store. I was wondering if you would let me borrow a few books to stock it. Maybe it could even be an extension of the library.
She holds up the paper, showing us a sketch of what it will look like. I'm not mentally prepared to watch his finale. Several wooden shelves line on one wall, and then on the other side is a tall bookshelf that separates the reading spot from the counter in the kitchen.
It hasn't been set up yet, but they'll be installing it tomorrow. So on opening day, all that will be left to do is fill the shelves.
God, I need to know if we ever find out what Aspen wrote when she first saw Miho. We never find out. But I think we don't need an exact answer. I think it's pretty fucking obvious. Juliet claps with delight. It's probably something like, oh my fucking god. I'm not a furry or anything, guys, but the cutest short fox girl just came into my fucking cafe, bro, and I'm freaking out, like...
I love that idea. It would be my pleasure to share our collections.
Aspen beams, and I can't help but smile too, for both of them. I know that in a sense, this is another dream come true for Aspen.
Why don't you come by tomorrow and pick out a few, and we can bring them to you at the opening?
That sounds great. I already have a list somewhere. I started daydreaming a little bit when I first came up with the idea.
I sit back and listen to the two of them chat about books for a while. It's nostalgic. All the names and titles go over my head, as unknown to me as they were months ago. This time, though, I don't mind. I don't feel left out. I wait for their conversation to reach a lull, before clearing my throat. There's something that I want to talk about too. Something I've only become more sure of since yesterday.
Hey, speaking of new jobs and stuff, I've been thinking about maybe trying something new, instead of working at the library. If Juliet doesn't mind.
Now chat's like headcanoning what Aspen wrote. Do I have any plans for 60k subs? Nah, I'll probably... I think it's like a good idea for a YouTuber to make like a special subs video every time their subs double. So my last special video was 50k, so my next one will be at 100k. Then after that it's like 200k. Kind of just like goes from there, I guess.
Of course not. Please, follow your heart and I'll always support you. Is there something in particular you want to try?
Yeah. It's something I just thought of a couple days ago, but that felt right as soon as I did.
What about 69k? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe 69k I'll like make a Infinite Yuri channel. I don't know if I want to make a Yuri channel, that's the thing. Like, this is the only game I really wanted to stream. Because I love this game. But all the other Yuri visual novels in my library, they're like horse shit in comparison to this game. Even though it's like... 100k is when you do coke off the silver frame they sent you. That's awful, you guys are awful. Oh my god. Did you use this channel before uploading? Or did you make it specifically for uploading? This channel's made specifically for uploading. So, yeah, I've got like my own private channel, which I use for like my subscriptions, and it's generally what I comment and like things on. It's also where all my playlists are. This one's only made for uploading. Yeah, the problem is that, like, I want to make another Yuri channel because it sounds... Like, I want to make a Yuri channel because it sounds fun. But I'm also just so busy with this one, I can just see myself getting burnt out really quickly if I'm managing two channels.
It was something this guy made me realize I want to do too.
I don't know, maybe I'll set up a channel like when the stream ends. It'll just be there as a template, just in case. I'll get anyone here who's interested to sub to it. And we'll see how it goes from there. I'm not really sure. I have always wanted to do like Yuri meme reviews. That's something I've always wanted to do. But I just don't know, man. I'd have to do it as like a really side hobby thing. It would barely get updates because I'm too busy with this one. Oops.
I want to try to help out at the nature preserve. Yesterday, Aspen said that Happy kind of reminded her of Unbi. That's Silver's new name, by the way. It's the first one she picked for herself.
Why not upload this stuff to this channel? The problem is that this content is not my typical stuff, which means it will, like, ruin my algorithm, so to speak. It's like... It could potentially kill my channel if I keep doing it.
Anyway, not just them, but also that burn. The one I found in the woods that we weren't able to save. I think about it a lot. I want to try helping others like that. Other birds and dogs and whatever they have there. Like how someone helped me before too. Lots of someones, I mean.
Make a channel where all you do is read Chonklord fanfictions? Okay, here's the thing, I could definitely do that on this channel. And I'd get so much fucking ad revenue, gamers, like, oh my god. Yeah, algorithm hates new shit. Yeah, if you, like... Did I hit my head? No, that was my... That was my headset cord. It's playing up again, so I was fiddling with it. But, yeah, if I, like... Because of you streaming this game, it made me think of playing as Miho and my pawn as Aspen. Yeah, I mean, if you can make a Miho, maybe.
Oh, Miho, that's wonderful. How perfect for you. I'd be glad to give you a recommendation to Amaya.
I'm not sure how you'd make Miho in Dragon's Dogma 2. Like, I don't know how you'd get the ears. Well, I mean... I guess it wouldn't actually be too hard to make her. I'll explain when... Well, you'll see when we get to the end of the game, I guess.
I believe they're always looking for volunteers.
I need to get
After a
this.
while, you could even apply to work there, like Amaya does. But listen to me getting ahead of myself. I'm already so excited for you.
Thanks.
Aspen looks a little more concerned.
I agree. That does sound like something that would be just right. But what about your magic? With the library, it's not a big deal since you live with Juliet. You couldn't see all your co-workers every day, though.
Yeah. I thought about that. I think I have an idea, but I'm not too sure about it yet.
Really? What were you thinking?
I don't want to say right now. I'm still thinking about it. I'll make up my mind soon, though.
I can tell Aspen wants to know more, but she forces herself to stiffly nod all the same.
All right. You can tell us when you're ready.
Is Touhou a Yuri game? I do not consider Touhou a Yuri game, no. Even though it generates a lot of Yuri fan content, I do not perceive it as a Yuri game.
Thank you. It won't be long, promise.
It's not that I don't want to tell her, it's just that I don't want to get her hopes up. I'm kind of afraid of getting my own hopes up too. I take a breath, feeling my bead rise and fall with my chest. Maybe I'm just afraid in general. Still, I swallow that fear, pushing it to the back of my mind. I can brood and ponder later. Right now, I just want to focus on what I've got, enjoying this meal and moment. In Juliet's typically reliable fashion, she manages to get a call set up for me and Amaya. I'm gonna restart that, that was awful. In Juliet's typically reliable fashion, she manages to get a call set up for me with Amaya that same evening. At least this time, unlike with Minseo, I don't have a whole day to fret about it beforehand. Instead, there's only 10 or 15 minutes between when she tells me she's going to reach out and when she comes up to my room to offer me the phone. It's only my voice, not video, which makes it a little less stressful. Still, I have to calm my nerves a bit before I'm actually able to answer.
Hello?
Something I've been working on is how loud to talk when I'm using the phone. I've always ended up yelling since I can't really hear myself, but I've been trying to fix that for Aspen's sake. Still, I'm self-conscious about it as I press the phone to my ear.
Hi there, Miho, right? I'm Amaya at the Preserve. Nice to meet you.
Thanks! Nice to meet you too.
If all goes well, then this should be the last time I ever have to introduce myself to someone for the second time.
Juliet tells me you're interested in helping out around here and that you have a pretty extensive history with animals. Is that right?
Yeah, you could say that.
Awesome. I'll be honest, we could really use a hand right now. Or 2 or 4 if you got 'em. As far as I'm concerned, a friend of Juliet's is a friend of mine.
Yeah, if you want to get a job, guys, it's who you know, not what you know. That's why I couldn't get a fucking... That's why it was so hard for me to get a fucking job, because I don't know fucking anyone.
There's still a few questions
I don't have any
ask you,
friends in real life.
both as a formality and just to get to know you better. No pressure. These aren't the kinds of questions you have to study for. Is that okay?
Yep.
Has saying no pressure ever actually made someone feel less pressure? No.
Great. First up, why do you want to help out here? Be as big or as specific as you want.
Because I want to help animals. I don't know if Juliet told you, but I used to be a fox.
No kidding. Bushy tail and everything?
9 of them.
Incredible. You'll fit right in. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Right. Back when I was a fox, someone saved me. And that's how I ended up turning into a person. Then once I got here to Welly, Julia helped me out a lot too. I like people a lot more than I used to now, but I still know animals pretty well. Better than most humans, I bet.
I love that. Okay, next question. What kind of work is it that you want to do? A lot of people, they sign up to help out here thinking it's gonna be all clean and tidy like a hospital. It isn't. Animals are messy and dangerous, and you can't get mad at them when they screw up. Believe me, it's useless. It's a lot of dirty work. It's a lot of being careful and still sometimes getting hurt. What I'm saying is, it's not easy. Is that something you're okay with?
Yeah, I am. When I said how I got helped out, back when I was a fox, I got my leg caught in a hunter's trap. I couldn't move, and it hurt more than anything I've ever felt. But there was this person who found me, who had already been nice to me before. Still, if I hadn't been about to die, I probably would have tried to get away from them anyway. They took care of me and helped my leg get better. They fed me and came to visit me every day, until the day they left my forest. So, I know what it's like to be that way, scared and hurt, and not sure who you can trust.
God damn. I'm so sorry. Us humans can be terrible, can't we?
Sometimes, but that's only some humans, not all of them. That's something it took me a long time to learn. There are good humans, though, like you and my girlfriend Aspen.
Oh, you're dating Aspen? I've heard Juliet talk about her for years.
Yeah, we're dating.
It makes my heart feel warm to say that. Isn't it? Wait! Ah!
As
Sorry.
far as I'm concerned, you've already got the job, but here we go. Last question, alright?
Don't they always say that in interviews and then you don't get the fucking job? God damn, that's crazy, bro. This has actually been a lot easier than I expected. Yeah, I know, that's how it always feels. I don't even have to try hard to think of the answers like I normally do. Instead, I feel confident in what I'm saying, in a way that I don't know if I ever have felt before.
Okay, here it is. Miho, do you believe in fate?
What?
I asked her that last time.
You remember that?
So that was you. That was gonna be my secret final question. I remembered having that conversation with someone, but for the life of me, I couldn't think of who. I thought someone must have tampered with my mind with magic or something. And to tell you the truth, I still can't picture what you look like.
Oh, you're exactly right, actually. I have this, I guess you could call it power, where everyone I meet forgets about me in a day if I don't see them again. That's what happened to you.
She's quiet for a moment, probably thinking about what to say. In that silence, I make up my mind.
But I think I've figured out a way to get rid of it. I'm going to try it tomorrow. So hopefully it won't be a problem. If you can remember me after this time tomorrow, then that'll mean that worked.
Still, there's silence. Did the call disconnect? Finally, she clears her throat.
Alright then, Miho.
Her voice sounds rough, like she suddenly caught a cold. My hair stands on end. Wait, is she crying?
I hope I'll give you a call tomorrow then. But first, you have to answer my other question. It's not the usual third question we ask, but I figure I don't need to ask about a time you met an animal in need.
Oh, right.
Once again, this question is easy to answer, but it's for a different reason.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But I don't think I care. Because either way, I'm still living my life. If there's magic or something else, then that's not really up to me, right? So, I like what you said last time. Either way, I just want to be...
Fulfilled?
Yeah, like Aspen and Juliet.
Well, if there's one thing we can offer you here, it's that.
Is someone making fun of my accent in chat?
Also a small salary. It's not gonna make you a millionaire or anything, but it should more than cover the bus fare or beer money, whichever you need more.
Really? I thought it was all volunteer stuff.
We usually start them off that way. Helps figure out which ones are serious about it and which ones are just looking for a summer job because mom said so. But I get the feeling you're gonna be a long hauler.
Shit. Sorry.
But I get the feeling you're gonna be a long hauler. What about you?
Now I have to pause to think about it. Working at the library is the longest I've ever stuck with something, and that's only been a few months. What Amaya's talking about is a lot longer than that. After spending most of my life not thinking beyond the next 24 hours, and spending my time here taking my daily life for granted, I haven't had to think long-term too much. Other than making sure Aspen, Happy, and Juliet are part of it, the future hasn't been that important to me. I need to start changing that though, especially after tomorrow. So maybe this is a chance to start the new year off with something else that's different for me. My New Year's resolution, Aspen called it.
Yeah, I'd like to be.
Super awesome, great. I haven't been this excited about a new hire in a long time.
I mean, they're hiring an animal to help at the animal preserve.
Thanks.
I'm glad we're not on a video call, so she can't see me blush. Oh, isn't that sweet?
I'll have to file some paperwork to make it official, and get the okay for the expenses, all that boring stuff. I'll try to get back to you tomorrow, end of the week at the latest. Sound good?
Yep.
Good. You better get that magic thing taken care of, Miho. I'm gonna write myself a note to be sad if I forget about you.
You got it.
Good. Talk to you soon then.
See you later.
The call ends, and I immediately sigh once again. Of course I can't blame her, but she makes getting rid of my magic sound so casual. In reality, that would be the biggest change of my entire life, maybe even more than becoming a Gumiho in the first place. This job application process is the least realistic part of the game. Hey man, it's all about your connections, and Miho's got those. It's the change that I need at this point in my life, though. As both Aspen and Juliet love to remind me, it was my path through life that made me who I am today. However, that person isn't the same as before. The things that matter to me now mean nothing back then. How's my mate's wife being asleep sussy? His wife is asleep. I didn't even know I had Steam overlay on. People normally don't message me. This started, like, yesterday. That feels a lot more comforting, I think. Wait. Oh, wait. Sorry, I missed a part. But they're the final step from that path that I need to move past. Plus, if Unbi is right, then they're not separate things that I'll lose. They're just parts of me that change too. That feels a lot more comforting, I think. Since Happy left with Juliet when she brought me to the Since Happy left with Juliet when she brought me the phone, I have a rare moment to myself. Don't be coy, you know exactly why it's sus. So, like, that guy lives in a different country. So, I don't know. Like, he lives on the other side of the fucking planet. I remove my necklace and hold it in my hands, something I do quite a lot these days. Even more cracks have appeared on the bead. It's broken in as many places as it is holed. Light leaks out, shining on my palms. The bead looks like it could fall apart at any time, fragile like a human. Something would happen if I broke it, I'm sure of that. I had Steam Deck on in the lounge, playing games with siblings, when one friend sent some bromancy shit like, get your thick cheeks on Discord. Something will happen when I break it. Tomorrow, I've already given myself that deadline by telling Amaya. It's short, but it's less time to dread it and change my mind. Enough time to tell Aspen and Juliet, though. I want them to be there when I do it, too. I don't know what will happen. If I were to let myself think of all the possibilities, I'm sure Sorry. I'm sure I would end up taking myself out of it. Instead, I choose to believe what Unbi said, and what makes the most sense to me, that it would never make me into something I don't want to be. I'll choose my own destiny instead, my own fate, whatever it may be. After months of practicing, the day of the play finally arrives. Our performance starts in the evening, but I have to be there a couple hours early. Drunk stream? I've never consumed alcohol in my life. You guys are so rude. Aspen promised that you're letting chat get to you. This is just chat banter. It's engagement, mate. It keeps you guys entertained, and it gives me something to talk about. How gay was it that it caused your PC to crash? Oh, it was really gay. It was so gay, mate. You have no idea. Aspen promised that she'll be in the audience to support both me and Lena. Juliet will be taking care of Happy, so she won't be able to make it. Even though I explained again and again that I'll just be standing there when I'm on stage, they're just as excited as they were when I first announced I'd be participating. I am glad that they'll be there, though. The last hour or so before showtime is a busy one, with lots of casts running around doing last-minute preparations or run-throughs. I just try to stay out of the way and help out if asked. So the stutter is on purpose? No, I'm just bad at reading. We made the change from practicing in the park to practicing on a real stage pretty easily, and by now, the whole production is pretty smooth. I make the mistake of peeking out from the curtain before it begins, and see that almost all the chairs in the audience are filled. I even manage to spot my people, although they don't notice me. I head to a corner backstage, doing my best to stay out of everyone's way. Cyrus has been walking around, checking in with each cast and crew member in turn. Real talk, reading out loud long term gets so tricky. These audiobook narrators have it tough. I imagine they do takes. Thank you Dylan Johnson for the 20 dono, much appreciated. I'll have to catch the VOD later, but thanks for these streams, they're super fun. Would love to see more gaming in the future. Maybe. Thank you. I'm glad that some of you people have been enjoying this. He still hasn't gone into me when Lena hurries over.
Miho! Ready to go? Nervous? So far, so good. What about you? Shouldn't you be in your costume?
I'm gonna go get changed soon. I was just, talking with my parents.
Are they here in the audience?
Yep, front row. I think they were more excited for me to be in this play than I was.
I know exactly what you mean. I'm glad I did it, though.
Yeah, me too. They said they're glad I found something I like. Although I know they still wish it was ballet. I guess me being up on stage is still good enough for them.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, I think I am. I mean, it was my decision. I probably won't be in any other plays anytime soon, though.
That's too bad. You're really good at it.
I know, but I want to keep trying new things. Maybe someday I'll go back to ballet or something, but only if I decide that I want to, not someone else.
Cyrus wraps up a conversation with a nearby cast member, and then joins us in our corner.
Hey, you two. All set for your big debut, Miho?
I think I've got all my lines down.
Good. How about you, Lena?
Ready, boss!
Cool. Thanks for making this possible, both of you.
No, it's no big deal. Right, Miho?
Right.
For me, that's pretty true. But for Lena...
We should probably go get changed, but first,
Scratching his neck, Cyrus looks away for a moment.
Hey, Lena. Are you, busy after this?
After the play? No? Why?
Do you wanna get dinner or something?
Oh, finally, the heteros are doing something! Lena blinks a few times in rapid succession.
Yes! Let's do that! Okay, I'm gonna go get ready now!
Face red, Lena runs off, both Cyrus and I staring after her.
The dressing room's the other way.
A moment later, Lena zooms past us, going in the opposite direction.
Oops, it's this way.
She disappears into another room.
That wasn't weird, was it? From me, I mean.
Nah, I think weird is like her normal anyway. I think she's pretty glad you asked her.
I kind of had a feeling after she gave me that painting a while ago. Part of the reason I wanted her to be in this play was so we could hang out more. But it's been kinda tough.
Don't worry. I think it'll all work out fine.
Cyrus nods.
Well, I'm gonna go get dressed too. See you on stage.
See you!
Cyrus leaves, and I spend my last couple minutes alone. It's taken a while to get here, but it seems like everything's turned out alright. Lena's all over the place and hard to follow sometimes, and Cyrus is like her opposite. They're both nice people though, and I hope that them getting dinner later is just the start of something between them. I think they'd be good for each other. Eventually, it's time for me to go get ready as well. In the dressing room, I pull on my stiff tree costume and take my place backstage. From the other side of the curtain, I can hear the low rumble of a crowd talking. As the lights dim, the chatter does too. Alright, see you later, whipped the cream. Have a good one. Looking around, I see Lena, all dressed up and ready to go. She gives me a big thumbs up. At the front, Cyrus faces everyone with a small smile.
Showtime.
We all get into position, and the curtain rises. The music begins, and Lena soon takes her place on center stage. Watching her perform is like watching a whole other person. There's a certain grace to her movements and the way she talks. I admire her ability to just go out and perform when she has to, even when I know she must be all worked up emotionally. Cyrus is the same way when he's acting. He has to talk louder to project his voice, but he doesn't seem uncomfortable doing it. The way he walks and talks is elegant like Lena. The audience laughs and gasps in the right places, and even I hear a few sniffles during some of the sad parts. When it's finally time for me to go out, I'm surprised by how many faces there are in the crowd. I can't let myself get distracted though, I need to do my best too. My part's pretty easy, and I pull it off without a hitch. Sorry, I was thinking of a tree pun. As I leave the stage for the last time, Lena mouths, "Nice job," to me. I smile in return. The whole 2 hours seem to fly by. When the last scene ends, I can hardly believe that it's over. One by one, we all go back out to take a bow. The applause from the audience is like thunder rolling through the theatre. The last ones to return are the three main characters, including Lena and Cyrus. As they take their place, the applause somehow gets louder, with everyone rising out of their seats to clap. Confetti... I was doing so well too! Confetti falls from the rafters as they look around, basking in celebration. Lena's smile is huge, while Cyrus seems stunned by the reaction. The three of them link hands to take a bow, and then the rest of us join them one last time for a final bow all together. Throughout it, Lena and Cyrus never let go of each other. When everything is over and everyone goes backstage to clean up and congratulate each other, I say goodbye to pretty much everyone except those two. I look around to try to find them, but can't. Will I play Senran Kagura? That game's like... I think YouTube would murder me if I played that. I'm also not big on, like, fan service games. If you can tell. Like, the lewdest this game ever gets is, like, they kiss. And it's, like, just normal kisses, too. Like, no sussy kisses. This is, like... This game is so prude. It's perfect for me. Finally, the sound of a door opening catches my ear. I peek around the corner of a hallway to see Lena and Cyrus standing at a door to the outside, about to step out together. I'd say they've earned the right to leave early, and skip out on their cleaning. As the door shuts behind them, I smile to myself. I think they're going to be just fine. Even though Aspen shows up for breakfast, I'm too preoccupied to do much but eat and respond on autopilot. After a predictably sleepless night, I can barely stay focused enough to chew. I'm so out of it that Aspen has to wave her hand in front of my face to get my attention.
Miho!
Yeah?
I was going to ask if you're okay, but I think I need to ask what's wrong instead.
What do you mean?
You've been chewing on an empty fork for a little bit now.
I look at the utensil in my hand.
Oops.
Aspen gently sets my brutalized fork onto the table. My plate is so full, I'm not sure if I actually had any food or not.
Is this about your secret idea from yesterday?
I nod.
You're good.
I like to think I know you pretty well. Is it something you can talk to us about yet?
Juliet also leans in to show she's listening, although she doesn't interject. I could feel my pulse rise in response to the sudden attention. Even Happy is watching me. This is the whole reason I decided so quickly. I should just get it over with.
I'm going to smash my bean.
Both Aspen and Juliet look at me in stunned silence. I'm not surprised.
I don't know for sure, but if I do that, I think my magic will go away. The problem is, I don't know what else will happen to me. But I think I'll be okay. And B thinks so too.
While Juliet continues to look shocked, Aspen's face flips through emotions like I'm changing channels on the TV.
Smash it? Are you sure? That's awfully permanent. And what do you mean, what else? What do you mean, you think? Have you thought?
Aspen.
Yeah, Aspen, shut the fuck up. All Aspen has to do is look at Juliet and she cuts herself off.
I'm sorry. I'm sure you've thought about it. But that's so sudden. I'm sure you can see why I'm so shocked.
It's been on my mind for a while, and it's all I could think about last night.
Thank you, Newt.
It's what I want to do, though. I told Amaya I would, for one thing. And I'd feel a lot better if I didn't have to worry about either of you forgetting about me.
Me too. God, me too.
Your magic is more than just being forgotten, though. That, plus your ability to transform, plus, I would imagine, your immortality.
Aspen gasps.
Miho!
I know. I thought about that too. And I'm okay with that. I want to feel more. I want things to mean more to me. I don't think that can happen unless I know I'm going to lose them someday. That's something both of you helped me realize.
I meet Juliet's gaze.
You too. And Cosette.
Her eyes go wide, then settle into motherly contentment. Closing her eyes, she nods in acknowledgement of what I said. Aspen grabs my hands, one in each of hers, holding them to her heart as she faces me.
Miho, I don't know what to say. There's so much that I don't know if I could get through it all. So, I'll just trust you. I'll trust that you know what's right for you, and I'll support you in that. Always.
Aspen has barely finished talking when there's suddenly a flash of light from her necklace, causing both Aspen and Juliet to recoil in shock. Happy yelps in surprise too.
What the?
I instantly cut my hands around my bead, which contains a lot of the light, but not all of it. Aspen still has to use one arm to shield her eyes. Somehow, despite the brightness, I'm able to see through it unbothered. The bead seems to be shaking, and I don't think it's because of my hands. It's still whole, but just barely. It's had its fill of whatever it was looking for. I can feel it. It's needy. The magic within it wants to burst free and escape. All three of us exchange a look, knowing that it's pointless to say anything else about the issue. Whether it's instinct or just my inner strength, I grit my teeth and stand up.
It's time.
It is time. I walk to the front door, hoping that I'm not shaking as badly as I think I am. Aspen, Juliet, and Happy are right behind me, but I don't think back until I'm out the door standing in the sunlight. Aspen comes to my side, gripping my arm as she leans in for a kiss. Closing my eyes and focusing on the feeling of her against my side, I feel the storm in my belly calm down a little bit. Little claws dig into me as Happy stands up on his hind legs, pressing his paws into me as well. Tokiwakita, another Machikaido fan in chat. Juliet remains on the doorway, just out of reach of the sunlight, but I know she's watching anxiously too. My hands are trembling as I reach for my necklace. Aspen places her hand on mine, steadying it as I undo the clasp. The bead got its Yuri fix? Bro, how do you actually, fulfill your Yuri fix? It is a constant hunger. For the first time since I slipped it on, I carefully removed my bead and set the rest aside. It's strangely heavy in my palm. Maybe I shouldn't call it strange. It's carrying a lot of memories in it. Still, it's small enough that when I curl my fingers, it's hidden entirely. Closing my eyes, I take a deep breath and then another, preparing myself for what I'm about to do.
Wait!
My eyes shoot back open.
Before you do, there's something I have to ask. I'd regret it forever if I don't.
What is it? You can ask me anything.
She looks conflicted. I have no idea what her question could even be. Finally, she copies me, closing her eyes, taking a deep breath before snapping her gaze to mine.
Can I touch your ears?
Homie's asking the real questions here.
Huh?
I've just... For as long as I've known you, I've wanted to ask. But it seems so rude, so I kept putting it off. I can't put it off anymore, though.
I can't hold it back any longer. I take a second to process what she said, and then I burst out laughing. Of everything she could have said, that definitely wouldn't have been one of my guesses. She looks so guilty about asking that, it makes me laugh even harder, until I'm doubled over and unable to stand up straight. Tears start to stream from my eyes, taking a lot of my tension with them. I can only nod in response, unable to actually answer Aspen's question with words. After a couple seconds, she can't keep from laughing either, even as she approaches me. I force myself upright, at least a bit more, and tilt my head for her. Her fingers hesitantly settle on my ears, and she scratches a few times the same way she pets Happy. I see why he likes it so much. My sister and Yuri, she's your girlfriend. Aspen doesn't spend too long before moving away from me. She looks a lot more relieved too.
Okay, I've gotten that out of my system. Why don't you... Miho!
She gasps and points at my hand. I look down. Without even meaning to, I clenched my fist at some point. Familiar light shines between the gaps, turning into vapor and rising towards the sky. I uncurl my fingers, revealing a small pile of glowing dust and shards of my bead. The shards aren't sharp. In fact, they aren't anything. I can't even feel them there. Turning my hand over, I dump the debris onto the ground. A lot of the dust disappears as it falls, and so do some of the pieces. A couple of them hit the ground before vanishing. Only one piece, the largest one, lasts for any time at all. Instead of evaporating instantly, it slowly dissolves, with most of the powder being carried away by the wind. Soon, all that's left is a tiny seed that looks like it comes from some unknown plant. Was this part of my bead as well? I'll never know the answer, because the wind picks up and takes that with it too. Although it doesn't disappear into nothingness, it's gone from sight in an instant. If it was, then maybe it's on its way to someone else who needs it. Just like Jong-in, it'll travel the world again, never quite coming to rest. I think they'd love to be part of the wind, laughing along with the breeze, so I'm sure they'll know where to take it. The instant that sorry, chat's fucking distracting me. God, guys. The instant that the last trace of magic disappears, I can feel my body start to change. It's similar to changing into a fox, but still different. My ears shrink down and my tail retracts, but the rest of me stays the same. My hair brushes against my shoulders as new. Different ears take the place of my fox ones. It feels like stretching after being cramped up for a long time. Like always, the transformation is quick, only a few seconds from start to finish. Except it's not always anymore. There is no next time. I turn around to face Aspen and Juliet again, just as tearful Aspen rushes into me, wrapping me in the tightest hug I've ever felt. Somehow, her lips managed to find mine, and my first experience as a human couldn't be any better. Happy doesn't wait long before demanding to be noticed too, so I step away from Aspen in order to kneel down and pet him. He seems to handle this change a lot better than me turning into a fox, since he doesn't growl or act any differently at all. I wonder if he even notices that change. Finally, there's Juliet, who has tears of her own in her eyes. As I climb the stairs, she steps forward and pulls me into an embrace of her own.
Congratulations, Miho.
Thank you. For everything.
Juliet lets go of me, and then steps further back into the house and away from the sunlight. The rest of us go inside too. I feel strangely normal. Other than being a bit dizzy, I feel exactly the same as I did 5 minutes ago. Even the dizziness will probably go away once I get used to not having a tail. I'm not sure exactly what I was expecting being human to feel like, but I thought it would at least feel like something. I don't mind being wrong about this one though. Why is that dog a failed PNG? Bro, he's just hovering there, minding his own business. I know that I'm right about the human part though. That same intuition that's guided me my whole life tells me that. That's reassuring as well. I'm still me through and through. We go back to the kitchen, which also seems absurdly normal. I feel like I should at least do something to celebrate or commemorate the occasion, but really, just being able to go on with my everyday life feels like a reward itself. Like Lena leaving the Bell House, maybe it'll hit me harder later on, after the novelty has worn off, but right now, I'm just excited to keep living. After Juliet goes to bed, Aspen and I leash up Happy and take him for a walk around town. I notice a few differences, like not being able to smell or hear quite as well as I could before. I don't mind though, the trade-off is more than worth it. My first day as a human isn't too different from my last few days as a Gumiho, and that's just fine with me. Aspen stays as late as she can, and then when she finally returns to her own apartment, she does it with a promise to meet up again tomorrow. That night, lying awake next to Happy, I look out my bedroom window at the city I've come to know so well. I started to take the view for granted, but I'm going to have to unlearn all of that. I really want to be grateful for what I have, since someday, it'll all be gone. For what will be the last time for a while, Aspen shows up at the library for breakfast. It's been our routine ever since I came to Wellington, and it's bittersweet that it'll be coming to an end. An ending is just a chance for a new beginning though.
So, tomorrow's the big day.
That's right. I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight. I don't know if I'll have time to sleep tonight.
At least you'll have plenty of coffee to drink in the morning.
That's true. As long as no one drops the coffee maker or something. Oh, here I go again. I keep imagining 100 things that could go wrong.
I'm sure there are a million things that will go right.
Yeah, it'll be great.
Thanks. I'm sure you're both right. I just can't help being me.
That's why I know it'll go well.
Tomorrow's when the new store opens for Aspen. Happy and I hang out in the kitchen while Aspen and Juliet browse around to find books for Aspen's reading corner. Once she has a few picked out, Juliet heads to bed and Aspen rejoins the dog and me. She picks up her purse where she left it on the counter earlier and sits down.
So, after your bead broke yesterday, it gave me an idea for a secret ritual of my own.
She shakes the bag and I can hear paper crinkle inside.
Oh, like magic?
Welcome back to the present, Ricola. Glad to see you're caught up now.
No magic, just superstition, I guess you could call it. Or symbolism. Something along those lines.
Let's do it.
You don't even know what it is yet.
So? It's something you want to do, and that's enough for me.
I hope you're up for a bit of a walk then, because I'd like to go up Mount Victoria.
I'll go get Happy's leash.
On the way up to the top of the mountain, we talk about everything except why we're there. At the summit, we stop and Aspen looks around.
I see why you come up here so often. I'm glad the new store is closer. I could do with a few more chances to clear my head.
I'm glad you like it up here too. I know it's not a secret or anything, but it feels like my place.
I know what you mean. That used to be the library for me.
Used to?
It's special in a different way now. A wonderful way, to be sure. But not the same as when I was just a regular patron browsing the shelves. But up here, I feel calm in the same way when I sit down with a good book. Not just a good one, but a favorite. One that I know I can go back to again and again and enjoy just as much as the first time I read it.
She unslings her purse from her shoulder and reaches in. Happy gets his hopes up, probably thinking that's just where sandwiches grow, but he'll have to be disappointed this time. Instead, what Aspen takes out is a small stack of paper. At first I'm afraid it's The Fox in the Grove, which is silly because I keep that safely in my room with my scroll. On closer inspection, I recognize the fancy logo at the top.
That's from the book company, right? The one you almost signed with?
Yes. This was the contract they offered me. I held on to it to think about, and then afterwards held on to it as a reminder. I think I need to move on from it too, now. Just like you were saying about your bead.
I'm the cookie has gone through the 5 stages of grief. And then Roblox went in with the kill with divorce babies.
For a long time, I thought of my self-worth purely in terms of what I could make or give to the world. In other words, how good my writing was. That sure turned out to be a mistake. I always knew it was, of course. Still, once you're that far into the hole, it can be tough to dig yourself back out. I have you to thank in part for that. For helping me find my own strength that I needed. That's why I don't need this anymore. Not as a reminder or a motivator. I don't need it to tell me what I'm worth.
From top to bottom, Aspen rips the paper in half. Then she tucks those into piles and rips them again. Then she rips those. She holds out her handful of shredded paper like I held out my shattered bead. Just like then, the wind eagerly picks up the pieces and carries them away out to the sea. They toss and flutter in the wind, scattering directions before they even pass the edge of the mountain. Aspen watches them go, hands still outstretched, not to bring them back. Sorry, the comments fucking ruining this. Sorry. Not to bring them back, but to keep them away. In just seconds, they're gone from sight. I mean, it's paper, so it's not as bad. It will, like... It could be worse.
I tore up the rejection letters too. The ones I'd been keeping in my box. Envelopes and all. I saved a copy of my manuscript instead. That's what I really want to look back on someday and smile about. Not to forget the bad, but to remember the good too. I'll always associate it with these days here with you. And with the new store, and everything else.
Okay, but she's littering for dramatic effect. Bro, let a girl have her moment. Okay, She is cooking.
I think those will be much happier memories to keep. Don't you?
I do. I never want to forget how I feel right now either. Or any of my time here.
I don't think we will. I'm not sure how we could. And even though the future is scary at times, it scares me right now when I think of opening the store tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm excited to face it with you and with Juliet. And with Happy, of course.
My family was killed by string paper.
Of course.
The three of us stand quietly together, facing the horizon and the future. Aspen's right, it is intimidating, but that's exciting in its own way. If there's one lesson that I've learned, one most important thing, is that I can't just wait for the future to come to me. I have to reach out and grab it for myself. Arriving at the new Bell house, it's immediately obvious that Aspen didn't need to worry about no one showing up. Juliet and I are there an hour early, but we're not even the first to arrive. There's already a small line of people waiting when we get there, box of Aspen's request books in tow. Some of the staff are running around outside looking stressed. Others are indoors, setting up the display cases and brewing coffee. They also look pretty stressed. I recognize one or two of the employees from the other Bell house, but I don't know their names. Most of them I've never seen before. It's just the aprons that give them away. Killed 5 people at a bar with a piece of photo. Despite the nervousness, everything seems to be running pretty smoothly. One person that I do recognize is Regina, Aspen's boss. She strolls around the place looking calmer than the other workers. She's probably done this more than once. I'm no expert, but I don't see any problems anywhere. Aspen's done a great job getting everything ready to go. She's been here since before I woke up, so I haven't seen her in person yet, although we've been messaging through the morning when possible. I let her know that Juliet and I have arrived, but the message sits unread. I spot another familiar face, though, at the same time that she spots us.
Hey, mijo!
She slips out the front door and jogs over to where Happy and I are standing. Juliet's retreated off under the shade of a building's roof.
Hi, Lena. How's it going?
Oh, you know, pretty normal day. Hang on a sec, though. Something's different about you.
Yeah.
Did you get a haircut? Wait, no, I see it. Don't tell me they gave you an haircut too!
Nope. They went away on their own. I broke the bead that gave me my magic, and so now I'm just a regular human.
Lena's a swan. Her face goes pale.
And I thought it was bad that I dropped the coffee machine this morning!
Oh, nah. I did it on purpose. I wanted this to happen.
Seriously? Why would you do that?
Because I got tired of people forgetting about me all the time. I want to be able to live a normal life, even if it's one that has an end. I'm starting a new job soon too. One that I couldn't do if nobody remembered me.
Oh, congrats! You're gonna kick life's butt, aren't ya?
It's not quite the way I'd put it, but yeah, I guess so.
Well, it's the right way. The only right way. Go ahead, ask me why that is.
Why?
Because you've gotta beat life into giving you what you want.
Yeah, fuck it up. She does a fake punch that comes close to hitting me in the real face.
When it thinks it's got you down, that's when you've gotta fight back even harder. Never give up. Never surrender!
It's kind of impossible to not be impressed with Lena's enthusiasm, even when it's like this.
And you can only do that when you've got something to fight for. Like Aspen, or your friends, or your dog! Wait, when did you get a dog?
This is Happy. I've had him for a few days now.
He does look happy! What's his name?
No, that is his name. Happy.
I have a feeling I'm gonna have to do this a lot in the future. Still, I like the name. I guess you could say it makes me happy too. Once Lena finishes introducing herself to the dog, she finally notices the box of books on top of the wagon that we brought.
Oh, are those for Aspen? I'll take them in and let her know you're here. Although she might be busy until after she cuts the ribbon.
That's fine. Thanks for letting her know. I'll be with Juliet.
Got it!
I pass the wagon's handle to Lena, and she rolls it around to the back of the entrance. Happy and I go wait next to Juliet, not too far from the line to get in. She adjusts her parasol to give us an extra bit of shade too.
What do you think? I'm quite impressed with what they've done here. It has its own distinct feeling while still clearly being the Bell House.
Yeah, I love it. I can tell Aspen put her heart into it.
On one side of the cafe is a park, and on the other side is a row of shops that are just as cute as the Bell House. None of them have such a long line though. There are only a couple minutes left until the grand opening, and everyone in the crowd knows it. I do a quick head count. There are almost 24 people standing in line, not counting Juliet and myself. There are a few others who aren't in line either, like a reporter taking pictures and someone that must be Regina's husband. The warm, cozy scents of fresh bread and coffee are as strong here as at the other locations, maybe even stronger, since we're outside and can still smell them. I can't see in through the frosted glass windows, but I imagine they're all doing last-minute scramble. Taking care of final touch-ups before it's time, a blue ribbon is draped across the front doors. Those suddenly open inward, revealing the ribbon still hanging, and Aspen appears, dressed in uniform. She looks around, spotting me and Juliet, and gives us a small wave, but she quickly focuses her attention on the crowd.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for coming. We appreciate you showing up before you're actually able to have your coffee.
A couple people chuckle.
My whole team has worked very hard to make today's opening a success, so we're very proud to officially open our doors to everyone. Lena!
Coming!
I can hear Lena, but can't see her. I can, however, see the look of disapproval on Aspen's face as Lena runs up to her with a pair of scissors. Even that disappears in a flash, though, as with a big smile. My dog is kicking down the fucking door. She's trying to break in. Okay, never mind. It was just a prank. She just pranked me. She did a doorbell dash. Fucking bitch. Aspen cuts through the ribbon in a single snip. She steps aside, letting the line of people begin to enter. As the first customer passes through the door, a chorus of cheers comes from inside.
Welcome to the Bell House!
It takes a few minutes, but finally, Aspen emerges from the building and comes over to where we are. I reach out my arms to embrace her, but she shakes her head.
No, don't hug me, I'm gross. As soon as I get home, I'm taking 3 showers and 2 naps.
You deserve them. Everything looks amazing. You've done a great job.
Is your dog a PNG dog? No, I made her on Blender.
Thanks. Wait until you actually go inside. Although maybe it's better to wait until tomorrow for that.
You're already quite popular. I'm not sure if tomorrow will be any slower.
That's a good problem to have if it happens. I can show you around right now if you really want, but it's going to be awfully crowded in there.
You put your dog in a blender? Yeah, for real.
It's fine. You can show us another time. We'll be here again soon, for sure.
Indeed. I'm looking forward to trying out the reading corner for myself.
Yes, me too. Lena told me you brought the books. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. I hope they find their way into many new hands.
I'll make sure they do. I want to do some kind of discount for people who are working or reading here. I'm not sure what it'll be yet, but I want to help out students and artists, even if it's just a free cup of coffee. I'm already getting ahead of myself, though. We've been open for all of 10 minutes and I'm planning what to do next.
You make that sound like it's a bad thing. But this place only exists because you dreamed about it, right?
Well, yes. I suppose so. I need my feet on the ground right now, though. I could let my head off into the clouds when my shift is over.
Why'd I delete the VOD for the last Dragon's Dogma stream? I didn't. Wait, I'm gonna check if it's still there. It's still there. Yeah. Yeah, it's not deleted.
Which, unfortunately, is still several more hours from now. I'm going to have a few words with whoever it was that put together this schedule.
Was it you?
It absolutely was. After my naps and showers, I'll come by to visit this evening. Do you have any plans for how you want to spend your last couple days before your own new adventure, Miho?
Other than with you? Nah, not really. I think I might go for a walk. It's been a while since I just wandered around.
You've come so far since then, both literally and figuratively.
Wait, one sec. That's the link to it right there.
Yeah, I miss it a little bit.
Go wander then, and I'll see you at dinner.
Definitely.
Goodbye, Aspen, and good luck with the rest of the day. We'll see you tonight.
With a final wave, Aspen disappears back into the cafe.
I think I'll be returning home myself. If you're going to be out for a while, then would you like me to take Happy back with me?
Yeah, please. I think I'll be out for a bit.
Yeah, the VODs don't show up under videos, they show up under live, so they're in two different sections. I pass the leash to Juliet. Happy doesn't fight against leaving me anymore. He knows that I'll come back to him. I watch as those two head off back the way we came, the opposite direction of the Bell House. On the other direction leads into town, but it's the fourth and most familiar path that I follow. For the second day in a row, I find myself atop Mount Victoria, although I pass others going both up and down the mountain. I'm alone at the summit for the moment, just me and the breeze. Leaning against the railing, I take in the sights again. The bustling city, the swaying trees, the cerulean ocean. All over, everywhere I look, it's alive. Let me fix my fucking headset. This is so annoying. There we go. Every person, every leaf, every single creature, we're not so different after all. We're all just doing what we can to survive, to keep going, and to hopefully make tomorrow a little better than today. I can't count how many times I've been up here, enjoying this view, and I can't even begin to guess how many more times I'll come here in my lifetime. And yet, that's what makes it so precious today, because someday, I won't be able to come here anymore. All I'll be able to do is think back and remember how it made me feel. So I better feel as much as I can, while I can. Even now, I can spot things that are different from yesterday. I pass different people on the way up here, different boats dot the glittering horizon, different airships come and go. As much as it feels like it sometimes, and as much as I used to believe it was true, nothing ever really stays the same. From the streets, to the sea, and even myself. Like clouds, we grow and change, until someday we disappear. There's a noticeable absence where my necklace hangs, but it isn't like an aching kind of loss that feels like something's gone when it shouldn't be. Instead, it's more like nostalgia, missing something, but knowing I can't go back to it, that the world and existence I'm thinking of doesn't even exist anymore. Maybe it never did. I've never been to so much of the world without really seeing any of it. After all, there's plenty of time to fix that though. Years and years to enjoy to the fullest. At the end, I hope to feel the same way Zhongying did, surrounded by people they loved and content with the life that they lived. Maybe like them, I'll continue to exist in some way still, in the thoughts and stories of everyone that I care about, and that care about me. For someone who's not used to being remembered, a legacy like that doesn't sound too bad. Maybe someone someday will stand up here like me, looking out at the world and seeing proof that I once lived and existed. It's okay if they don't know me, or my name, that doesn't bother me. But if there's one more bird singing its song than there would have been had I never existed, then that's enough. A sudden gust sweeps across the mountain, down through the forest and out towards the sea. It ripples through my hair the same way it ripples through the trees. As the leaves rustle together in the breeze, It sounds like warm laughter. Little fox, where is your home? The wind whispers. Closing my eyes, I relax and surrender myself to it all.
Right here.
Okay, guys. There's the credits. There is after credits. We're gonna listen to the credits song though, so shush.
As I open to another page, I wonder if I'll always stay the same or be someone someday. As you open up another door, I'm searching for more, but I'm not really sure what I'll find. On and on, the clock on the wall keeps ticking along. So I put a bookmark in this chapter of my life, a daily pressed flower to remember you by. Getting older will mean that you're not on my mind. Together we'll be young till we die. With just a word or two, the year will end so soon. Will you remember me if I remember you? Tomorrow's just another new today. I wonder if our hearts will stay the same, or if we'll ever change now. All that we own are our memories, so I'll frozen out in my life with my heart on my sleeve still. On and on, the clock on the wall keeps ticking along. So I put a bookmark in this chapter of my life, a daily pressed flower to remember you by. And if getting older will mean that you're not on my mind, together we'll be young till we die. Maybe I'll forget a bit of you, maybe you'll forget me too, but I'll treasure every second, and I know that you will too.
Miho chose to become human because she wanted each day to mean something to her rather than just live and everything feel the same every single day. She basically just got tired of immortality. Okay. Give me a second. Okay, I'm good now. Even with the shuttle ride and walk back, I get home before Aspen does. Oh, this is the part where we figure out which ending we got. So we either got the wild ending or the comfy ending. I haven't been keeping track of which one we ended up getting, so this will be a surprise. I'll let you know which one we get, though. Even with the shuttle ride and walk back, I get home before Aspen does. Happy's waiting for me at the door like he does every day, to lick my hand, then flop onto the floor for a belly rub as soon as I come in. The cats crowd around me to say hello too, although they keep their distance from Happy as much as they can. 5 years and they still haven't warmed up to him too much. They don't mind me like they used to though, so we've gotten like a 5 years time skip here. I start a pot of coffee brewing for when Aspen gets back, and change out of my work clothes. It's my turn to cook dinner tonight, so I also grab some ingredients from the fridge and leave them on the counter to finish thawing. Then I go to our bedroom and wash up. Working at the preserve has gotten easier, but it never gets boring. I always come home covered in dirt and more, but with the satisfaction of knowing that I did something meaningful. This week, I've been tending to a nest full of Takahi chicks who lost their mother. Baby birds are kinda gross. I've learned the hard way that pretty much all baby animals are, but seeing the improvement they've made over the past few days has been all the reward I need. From the kitchen, I can hear Happy's collar sliding across the tile as he stands up, a sure sign that Aspen is home. I go out to greet her just as the front door opens.
Hey, you.
Hey, you.
Hello, love.
Aww. I wait for the animals to all have their turn saying hello before I walk over to Aspen, putting my arms around her.
How was your day?
Oh, the usual. I'm almost done reading this manuscript that came in a few weeks ago. It's a little rough around the edges, but I'd like to see more. I'm at the Bell House tomorrow, so I'll finish it up on break or when I get back. What about you?
The usual. Fed some birds, chased some lizards, trimmed some plants. I'm gonna start on dinner next. Coffee should be ready soon too.
Thank you. You're the best.
I try.
Like always, I stand on my toes to meet Aspen for a welcome home kiss. Height gap poggers! That's one of the things I really like about this relationship. Aspen's so fucking tall. And Miho's like, short as fuck. We've greeted each other this way every day for years now. Just like working at the preserve, I never get tired of it. At first, taking a job as an editor instead of making it as an author seemed like a downgrade to Aspen, but over time, she's come to enjoy it a lot. The way she talks about seeing someone's face light up when she tells them their manuscript's been accepted, or when their book finally releases, reminds me of how I feel when we let a rescued creature back out into the wild. There's always a bit of worry. What if we did something wrong? What if they're not ready yet? But there's also a whole lot of excitement. And of course, she still has the Bell House to keep her stable, even if it's only a couple shifts every now and then. Our home, our pets, our jobs, our lives. As much as I love the excitement, I love the comfortable familiarity just as much, if not more. In the end, I settled into life as a regular human pretty quickly. Both of us still have goals and dreams, things we'd like to do and see, but we're working towards them one step at a time and enjoying the journey along the way. I don't spend much time wondering or worrying just about how many days or years I might have left, because I'm too busy living every single one of them. So we just got the comfy ending for that one. I don't think I'll take you guys through the other endings because I figured a lot of you guys may want to try this game for yourself and explore the other routes. But this is one of my personal favorite routes. Thank you very much for tuning in to Please Be Happy. This game means a lot to me. I need a drink, one sec. But yeah, that's it. We've beaten the game. We've completed it. I hope you enjoyed this game. So, I really like it. Where's Juliet in this ending? She just chills at her library. Thank you everyone who tuned in. I know it's not my usual kind of content. Yeah, but there's like, the thing isn't like... Let's actually go through my, Yuri. Let's go through my Yuri library. Let's take a quick look at what else we've got here. Seabed? Seabed's kind of just, like, really depressing. I haven't finished it, but... I think it's, like, it's probably not too good to stream. Little Goody Two-Shoes. This one I don't think is a visual novel. I think it's, like, a genuinely interesting, It seems really interesting, though. I haven't played it yet. I've got no playtime on it. But it's one of those things I want to get around to. Fatal 12's a good one. I've played through it twice, which is why I have like 40 hours, because it's a 20-hour game, so I've played it twice. This one's like a dramatic Yuri death game. So romance isn't the main focus, but it's really important. So it's not like Please Be Happy, which is a slice of life romance. This one's like a death game, but the romance is important. It's still pretty good. Where is it? I want to talk about, there's one I want to talk about. Here it is. Kindred Spirits on the Roof. This game is like, this game is endearing until you think about it for like, until you think about its concept for more than 2 seconds. I don't want to talk about it too much because it's like, it's a hentai, it's not safe for YouTube. I played this, I like first learnt about this game when I was in middle school. Played Mary Skelter on Stream Next. Mary Skelter is actually really good. This is a Yuri dungeon crawler RPG. It's actually really good. So I don't know, if I ever make a second Yuri channel, this is definitely a game worth streaming, I reckoned. Yes, Kindred Spirits is probably the most well-known Yuri visual novel. I kind of agree with that. It's like... I think the good thing about Kindred Spirits is that after you play through the game in, like, play through the entire game once, you then get the option to just, when you replay it, to only look at specific stories that you care about. So if it's like, oh, I really liked this couple from Kindred Spirits, you can replay the entire game, but only focus on that couple. It's actually, like, it's really good in that department, because each character gets their own kind of arc, if that makes sense, like their own scenes, so you don't have to waste time with stuff you don't care about on another playthrough. Little Goody Two-Shoes I'm really interested in. Mary Skelter I've got like 80 hours in, but I lost my save file when I had 2 levels left, so I haven't seen the end of the game, and I'm really mad. So, God, that's so annoying. Like, it was a surprisingly good game too. I'll have to, like, sit down and try and finish it again. Is this the Dark Souls of Yuri VNs? No, because it's like a turn-based JRPG dungeon crawler. If you guys want some, let's go through some recommendations. If you want a difficult dungeon crawler with Yuri, get Mary Skelter 2. Mary Skelter 2 is really good. Little Goody Two-Shoes looks good. I haven't played it though, so I can't, like, give my own opinion, but it looks really good. The Expression Unrelato is a bit of a quiz game. It's good. It's like, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. It's very, like, middle of the road kind of Yuri. Maybe if you're starving, like, give it a go. This one here, Letters from a Rainy Day. This one's very, like, kind of just vanilla standard Yuri, but it's very well done. It's only a 7-hour game, so it's a short experience. There's also no roots. It's all just like normal stuff. It's good. If you want some like good old Yuri, I'd recommend this one. It's good. Perfect Gold is pretty similar to Please Be Happy. Like, imagine Please Be Happy, but with less emotional maturity. So, it's like, it's okay. It's fine. I'm not talking about this one. This one destroyed my brain. I'm not talking about this one. Yeah, I didn't like Flowers. I played it back in 2019. I thought it was kind of shit. Utsu Natsu. I dropped this one 10 hours in. Ugh. I don't like this. I think it's really bad. I gave it 10 hours because I was just waiting for it to be, like, good. It's just... Oh! I wanted to like this one because it was made by the same people who made Fatal 12, which is, like, really good. Fatal 12's excellent, it's really good. And then they make, like, Utsunatsu, and I'm like, oh, wow, they made another game, that's so exciting. It sucks. It's fucking, oh my god. Like, the whole student-teacher subplot is... Ew! It's not even a subplot, actually. I can't even be like, oh, it's a subplot so I can ignore it. It's the main fucking plot, and it's like, it's so... Like, I was just waiting for them to just stop. But it's like... Oh... Whereas this one, Lyrical Rainbow Stage, is like, it's like probably one of the gayest games to ever exist. Like, look at its fucking name. Look at its fucking name here. Lyrical Rainbow Stage. It's so, yeah. Most of these on here, like, kind of fucking suck, though. Seabed's good if you want, like, kind of tragic psychological Yuri. I recommend it for that. Synergia? I haven't actually played this one. Oh, so we have to stream Lyrical then. I don't want to stream Lyrical. I don't want to. Lyrical's got like, it's like Kindred Spirits in that it's got a billion different couples. If I go to store page, maybe there's like an image for them. Yeah, it's got the same calendar system as Kindred Spirits. It's like, it's the same game, except the art style is like so saturated it makes you want to like gouge your eyes out. These two were the best, by the way. These two here, they're the only reason to play the game. So, these two are siblings, related by blood. So that's the kind of game. Why am I getting a call? Okay, it's whatever. These two are like, they're fine, I guess. I give them like a 5 out of 10. They're fine. If I remember, these two are like cousins or something. Yeah, it's like Giga Japan, bro. Everything is so bright. I know. It was one of the hardest parts getting through this game because I was like interested in some of these couples, but like the art style is so fucking... It's like I'm looking at an oversaturated YouTube thumbnail. Just like, oh my god. Is there anything else in here? Oh, Heart of the Woods. So this was made by the people who made Please Be Happy. Which you might be like, why didn't you talk about that sooner? It's okay. It's pretty good. It's got a good soundtrack. The plot is surprisingly interesting, because it's like kind of a mystery thing. You're supposed to wear sunglasses when you play Lyrical. Yeah, pretty much. Heart of the Woods is pretty good. I don't think it's like Please Be Happy tier, like not at all. But it's okay. I'd give it like a 7. It's like, it's good. I like it. I didn't like Highway Blossoms at all though when I played it back in 2018. I just didn't like it. I straight up didn't. Nurse Love Addiction is like... Okay, so the thing is that this one's got like a really cracked voice cast. But it's oof. It's oof. It is oof. The reason I have like this game at all is because I had an old friend who bought it for me. They're sisters, aren't they? I just remember. They're fucking sisters. Oh, and I mean fucking as an adjective and verb. Because I think that's one of the roots you can pick. I can't remember though. The family tree is a lion. Yeah, it's, ugh. Some of these are like, yeah, I'm getting repressed memory moments here going through these. I don't think Kindred Spirits, oh, I probably shouldn't open that because it's a not safe for work game. I'm just gonna look here. Okay, none of them are related. The only problematic couple here are these two, because it's student-teacher. So that's literally it. And I don't like student-teacher stuff. I think that's super gross, personally. But, you know, I probably didn't care about that back when I was a middle schooler reading it for the first time. Everyone else is fine, though. But yeah, yeah, like, there's no, like, incest. Buddy of mine loved nurse love maybe a little too much. Oh my god, that sounds like my old friend. She was obsessed with it. Anyway, thank you very much for, No, I did, like, when I first played it in middle school. I first played it in middle school. So I didn't care about it back then. I want there to be the most Japanese game where the couple is literally every possible disgusting power dynamic. Student teacher is bad, but incest on the other hand. Yeah, I don't know which one's worse. It's kind of hard to, like, say. Either way, I would just rather play a game with, none of those in it. Like, that's just my preference. Playing a H game in middle school. Listen! It takes, like, 10 hours before you get up to the first not safe for works, scene. So it's, like... It's got a lot of actual, like, story. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in to the final Yuri stream on this channel. If I do decide, I don't know if I want to stream more Yuri games. I've kind of gone through why I'm not keen on streaming a lot of others. Like, the only ones here that are worth streaming are Fatal 12 in my opinion, because it's cool, and like Mary Skelter, but that's it. I don't think 2 games is enough to warrant making a whole new channel, which will probably die once I finish streaming those. So, please be happy if you can. Please buy. Sorry, I just thought that was funny. It's a really good game. I love it so much. It makes me cry every single time. Because I'm bashful. No, because they're mid. They're so mid. A lot of these are so mid. Like, I already showed you guys the best Yuri that there is. Please Be Happy is the best Yuri that exists currently as a visual novel. So, thank you all for tuning into my Please Be Happy stream. Please buy Happy. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. This game means a lot to me, and I'm glad I got to share it with people. It's good to revisit this game again. And I still feel about it how I did last year when I first read it. Alright. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'll be taking a break from streaming tomorrow. I've been doing a lot of it lately, and I think it's kind of, burning me out. Yeah, Please Be Happy is the peak. We'll never get a better Yuri. We won't get a better Yuri BN than Please Be Happy. Otherwise, like, there's plenty of really good, like, Yuri manga and light novels. I mean, the best one that we know of might be some Japan-only hidden gem. Yeah, that's true. This game isn't even Japanese. It's like American set in Wellington. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll be ending the stream now. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you all, again. You could read those on stream? I don't know. I'll think about it. I don't know if it's something I want to keep doing, though. That's the thing. Alright. Thank you. You could stream yourself just reading manga. That sounds awful. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.